Every time the Lord speaks to me and it comes to pass, I am in shock. Every single time. And it don't matter if what he told me takes a week. It don't matter if what he told me takes 2 to 3 years. Every time it happens, I am in shock. Every single time. Every single time. And I think I'm in shock primarily because who am I that the Lord speaks to me? Who am I that the Lord is mindful of me? But like, why me specifically, you know? But yeah, God speaks to me. God speaks to me. And it shocks me every single time. Every single time. And I can't say that I've never been wrong because I'm still very much learning. But I will say the things that I know that I've learned, that I know for a fact, this is Holy Spirit. This is the Lord telling me about something, some future event, some future experience. The things that I know for a fact that I can say without a shadow of a doubt, this is God. I've learned it, and I just want to say that there is something that God is doing, and it's going to turn this entire nation upside down. He's going to turn this entire nation upside down. Because the things that he has shown me, there are things that I've never even said. I just write them down. And I pray on it and I ask for more confirmation. But there's things that God is going to shift. When I tell you, and I've heard him say that too, like I've heard God say, and cause there's things that I talk to God about. I'm like, Lord, $2,000 for rent is crazy, right? People, that's crazy amounts. People can't really live. I'm like, and every time I say something about this nation that I'm like, this isn't how it should be, things should be different, I always hear the Lord say, Kareen, I'm going to flip this nation upside down. I'm going to flip this nation on its head. I have been hearing God say that to me for the past 2 years. I have had dreams where it's like, oh, you're doing something. Like, I've had visions. There's just one specific thing. I think I've put it out. I'm not positive. I'm not certain. But there's one specific thing I know. I've seen it in visions. I've seen it in dreams. I've had at least 3 dreams about it. 3 of them. And 2 of them were, I call them heaven dreams. And I don't know how else to explain it or how else to say it. But it's like, whenever you have a dream where it's like, if you have a dream, you're in the dream, and I will not profess to be the greatest dream interpreter or to know that much about dreams, but I can say that I have spent quite a bit of time learning about my own dreams and how God speaks to me in my dreams. And I will say this, whenever I have this, you'll have these dreams, y'all, they're vivid, they're in color, and I'm talking about they're Technicolor. It's the most vivid dream you'll ever have, and you're there, and you feel like you're actually there, to the point where you wake up and you're like, how am I here? How am I in my bed? Wasn't I just in Tokyo, or wasn't I just wherever? When I tell you these dreams, they're light and they're bright, and they're from heaven. They're from heaven, and I don't know how else to explain it. Except for, even because I I had a dream the other night, right? Maybe like a week ago. In the dream, it's nighttime. It's nighttime. I know that it's nighttime in the dream, but it's bright. It's bright. And I was talking to God. It was bright, even though it's supposed to be nighttime. In my mind, I know it's nighttime. But it was bright, like the sun, it was just brightness. It was color. It was vivid. I've had dreams where, like I said, it's vivid. I've seen two oceans intersect. Like it was so beautiful. I couldn't even begin to tell you. And it was just this one little strip and it was just oceans. Like, anyways, the point I'm trying to make is that there's certain kind of dreams I know they come straight from heaven because of the way that they look, because of the way that they feel. And most importantly, if you have a dream where you're looking out of a window pane, if you're looking out a window, if you have a dream where you're looking at a TV set, basically if you're looking at a stage, like the curtains went up and there's a play ongoing, you're looking at a stage, you're looking at a TV, you're basically looking at something that is telling you like you would watch events from, like to see what's coming to happen or what's going to happen, or like, oh, here's another way to know, right? If you have a dream where you're just watching, you're not doing anything, you're not interacting, you're not talking, you're just watching what is happening. God is literally showing you what's about to come. He's showing you what's about to come. And I said all that to say this. I have had dreams, I've had visions of our country experiencing a BOMB. A BOMB. Now, I believe you can't say this word all over the internet because it's like a big thing. But I've written it down so many different places. I've had dreams on it. I've had visions on it. I remember I had a vision in February of last year. I was laying down. I woke up and that's the first thing I saw. Atomic BOMB. Yeah, you know when you see the mushroom? I saw it a couple days ago. I had a dream where I'm literally looking for shelter, and there was from the from the mushroom there was like ashes or something. It was something falling out of the sky, and it was falling on people, and it was causing them to be set on fire. It was causing them to be set on fire. It was causing the buildings it touched to be set on fire. And where everybody is running and scrambling and looking for shelter and looking for shelter and looking for shelter. And I've had another one where, y'all, I was in Hawaii, and I don't know the significance of Hawaii yet. Y'all, I was in Hawaii. And I'm gonna say this because I remember I've watched a video about a false there was some sort of false alarm years ago in this particular place, and everybody thought they were goners, you know what I mean? So I don't know if God told me this particular place because this is where it's going to happen, or the name, I think the word Hawaii means homeland. Yeah. So, but anyways, I'm looking out of a window. This happened, I had this one in May. Now, this dream came from heaven, y'all. It was so bright. It was so vivid. Y'all, I could tell. I was standing, and I was in Hawaii. I was standing in front of this mirror. Not a mirror, excuse me. I was standing in front of this window, and I'm looking outside the window, and I'm looking at the most picturesque view I have ever seen in my life. I'm talking about palm trees and sun and land, like greenery. It was beautiful. I'm looking out this window, and all of a sudden, just imagine a whole bunch of palm trees, y'all, right? Just a whole bunch of palm trees, and in the palm trees, all of a sudden, this smoke just comes in. It just comes in like this. Y'all, the smoke rolls in. It just rolls in. And then all of a sudden I see the smoke come up and cover the window. It covered the window. And in the dream, I got afraid. I was looking at the window and I got afraid. And all of a sudden I turn around and I was right next to the window was a door. And I turn around because I was looking at this window. I'm seeing all this smoke cover the glass pane. The window pane cover the glass. I turn around, I put my back to the door, and I fall, and I just like, get down into kind of like a fetal position, but like after I do that, or I look, the door had a mail slot where you opened it, and the mail comes in. I open the mail slot and soot comes through it. Ashes comes through it, y'all. Yeah, so I don't know when, I don't know where, I just know the what. I just know the what. And I know that and a lot of people say like, oh, those things can't happen here. Those things don't happen here. But I'm sure a lot of people thought about that before September the 11th. Before September the 11th. And so I don't know who. I don't know like all of the specifications, I just know that for 3 years, the Lord has been telling me this thing. The Lord has been showing me this thing. And if the small things can shock me, and if the small things that what God shows me is happening, if he's making a point to show me this one thing several times, then there's something coming. There's something coming. And I have warned people several times. I've made several videos on it. God is going to do something major. If we thought 2020 was bad, 2020 ain't nothing compared to this. 2020 ain't nothing. And I think what's going to be worse is that because we've experienced 2020 and a lot of people aren't going to take this one as serious as 2020 because of everything that happened, and I think a lot of people are going to be like, oh, this is going to be just like 2020. I'm not going to take this seriously. I'm not going to prepare. I'm not going to buy things, I'm not going to get masks. I'm not going to get food, canned goods. I'm not going to get, I'm not going to prepare myself physically and mentally through fasting, and I think, and I don't know what else, but I think that because of what it was like, I hate to say this, I'm kind of rambling at this point, but I really believe 2020 was a test. 2020 was a test to see whoever the powers that be, right? And maybe even it was, anyways, whatever power, because God allows everything, but whatever powers that be, whoever the Lord allowed to let this thing happen, to make this thing come to pass, right? It was a test of our obedience, a test of if we were going to go down fighting or not. It was a test. And I think we failed the test horribly. And because of that, and because we're hard-headed, we're going to get hit again. But this time it'll be much worse. And the reasons why it'll be much worse. Total domination. I don't know why I just said that. But anyways, yeah. So, I'm still growing. I'm still learning. I'm still deciphering. And, yeah, something is coming. That's all I gotta say. Something is coming, and I know that it's going to be multiple things. I believe it's going to be multiple things. I believe it's going to be, oh man, oh, you know what? I just came back to my remembrance. I had these visions last year. My years are running together. I had these visions, I believe it was last year, where the Lord had brought me to this country. I don't know what country I was in, but I was like praying, I was meditating, and it was a series of visions. And in the first one, it was chaos. It was war, it was chaos, it was fighting, then in the second vision, it wasn't enough crops. Like, in the crops that were coming up, they weren't good. They were like not good crops. And then I'm trying to figure out what was the third one. I don't remember. I wish I had kept some of these. And the thing that I've learned so far in this walk is that I would hear, especially in the beginning, I would hear God, but I would be so afraid of people's opinions and what people would think that I wouldn't put the information out. Or I would put the information out, then I would take it down. I would put the information out, then I would take it down. And like I had put this information out about false wolves in sheep's clothing. I put this out, we're at the end of 2025. So almost 2 years ago. So it was at the beginning of 2024, almost 2 years ago. And I remember the Lord telling me how these false wolves was stealing people's innocence. And he showed it to me in a dream. They were stealing people's innocence. They were stealing people's purity. And I remember God was speaking to me. I just put all this stuff out, and I was so afraid of man, so afraid of people's opinions and what people would think of me. And I remember at the time, I was the only person, I felt like I was the only person saying these things. I was the only person knowing these things. And y'all, some of y'all leaders, I would see, I'm like, Lord, why are you showing me so-and-so, such and such doing whatever? But I get it now. But yeah, God talks to me. Not a lot of weight to carry, but he talks to me nonetheless. And whatever he got for me to give to you, I'm gonna give it to you. Trust me. But yeah, I'm kind of done rambling. I was just in awe. Something God told me 3 years ago. 3 years ago. That people yelled at me about, y'all. I'm talking about people look down on me, talk down on me. Something he told me 3 years ago. 3 years ago. In a dream. 3 years ago. Boom. Came to pass. And I'm watching it unveil itself. And it's sad. But anyways, that's it. That's all. I hope you guys have a good day. Bye.